Hello guys, Danny from Dad's Tech. In today's video guys, I'm going to be bringing you another CPU colour review. This one's going to be of the Justice from Reeven. Now I've had a look at many Reeven colours up to now and I've been very impressed at the performance you get for the amount of money you spend, or shall I say the price performance. This particular colour features a 120mm fan and also 6 heat pipes that do loop all the way around, so effectively kind of like 12 heat pipes. Yeah, it's only a small unit, it's kind of like a single tower, but for it to contain 6 heat pipes, it's probably going to perform very well, and if it's anything like the Okonos, it's going to perform very well and surprise me. Yes, there we are. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the video. Just going to go over real quick what you get in the box, go over an overview of the cooler, installation, and then get onto the performance benchmarks on my i7 4790K, rendering out the render test that I have for testing CPU coolers. So yeah, let's get into it. So to get it started, inside the box you get the cooler itself and an accessory box. This contains all the mounting hardware, thermal compound, and an instruction manual for the cooler installation. The instruction manual is mainly photos of the product, however it looks pretty easy to install on all the platforms that it supports. So onto the cooler's design is an extra thick single tower cooler with a 120mm fan, more on that fan later. Now the total dimensions of the unit with the fan attached is 162cm in height, millimeters even, 131mm in width and 105mm in depth, so rather large for a single tower cooler. The total weight of the cooler with the fan attached is just over 900 grams, so rather heavy for a single tower cooler. The tower features many aluminium fins with an impressive 6mm nickel plated copper heat pipes passing through the fin stack. Now up top the cooler features a rather fancy top slit to cover the heat pipes, you don't get any protruding out of the top. The heatsink also has 2 holes that go down to the bottom of the fin stack. You'll use these to install the cooler, of which I'll get onto a little later on. The cooler supports both AMD and Intel CPU sockets, 15 sockets to be exact. Now onto the base of the unit, this is a shiny nickel plated copper base, so it should perform relatively well, and also will be very easy to remove thermal compound. Now moving on to the included fan, this is one of Reeven's own custom tuned cold wing 12 fans. As mentioned, it's a 120mm fan with a rotation range of 300 to 1500 RPM and connects to the heatsink with the 4 plastic clips. No need to remove the fan to install the cooler. Now no rubber is in sight, however this isn't exactly a very expensive cooler, so no marks off there. Moving on to the installation of the Reeven Justice, although a few steps, installing the unit is rather easy to do. This is mainly down to the many illustrations in the manual and the mounting pieces involved. So installation starts off by prepping the backplate. In this case you want to slot 4 bolts through the metal backplate according to your CPU socket, then secure them into place with the 4 rubber washers. Once you've done this, you can slot it through the back of the board and add the 4 spacers and the metal mounting bracket on top, then secure this in place with the included metal nuts. After this has been completed, you can then add a little thermal compound. In my case I'm using Arctic MX4, then place the cooler on top of the CPU. Now lastly, you can slide the mounting bar into place at the bottom of the CPU cooler, then screw the last 2 screws into place by slotting a long screwdriver through the top of the cooler, making sure to tighten these down evenly. So now I've gotten the installation out of the way, we can speak performance. I ran my standard Adobe Premiere Pro video render test on the i7 4790K of all cores overclocked to 4.4 GHz of the automatic voltage for extra heat purposes. The cooler scored a very good temperature of 64.5 degrees C, a very impressive result for a cooler of this design. I also performed a test at 4 GHz simply for comparison. This scored 51.5 degrees. All these results have been normalised to 20 degrees C room temp. Overall this cooler is fantastic in terms of performance and the noise levels are great for a cooler with only one single 120mm fan, and to be of this relatively small size. It sure is performing like a dual tower cooler. As you can see on the chart, many dual tower cooler results are, well, near this result. Because of this, there's really no reason I cannot recommend this cooler to anybody, so without further ado, let's conclude. So there we are, that was the Reeven Justice. Overall very good, and yeah, there's no real reason I can't recommend it. It's very, very good for the price, and for it to do so well in my actual chart is unbelievable, because it is only a single tower cooler with a 120mm fan. Yes, there we are. So thanks for watching, please feel free to like, comment and also subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.